What's up everybody, welcome to AIRSOFT After Hours. In this video I'd like to show you and introduce a red dot sight that I have just acquired and been using for a couple of days now, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit, and I thought I'd show you guys and give my opinion, give some reviews, and tell you what I think about it basically, so it might help you guys out if you're thinking about getting a red dot sight. Okay, the red dot sight in question is a Shield mini sight. This sight here has actually been manufactured under so many different names. It's been branded and rebranded countless times. You may have seen this sight marketed under names such as obviously Shield mini sight, the Firepoint, the Tasco Optima, the Trijicon Red Dot sight, or the Jpoint, which is very popular. Okay, so everyone's had a go. This has literally been thrown around, and everyone likes to rebrand it and sell it under a certain different name. And I'm gonna give you the a quick review of this one, which is it's branded under Shield mini sight, but in theory it should be all the same. All the red dot sights, no matter what name they are marketed under, should be the same red dot sight as this one, apart from some of them have their own brand name across the product. The Shield mini sight, however, has no brand name across any part. It's literally left blank and plain. Okay, right, this is the box. That's your unboxing. Okay, right, it comes in a little looks like plastics, like a plastic case there. Take that off, and what we have inside here is obviously the red dot sight, a mini dial, which basically shows you all the adjustments, how they adjust. There's no clicks on this when you adjust it for windage or elevation, but it does, it adjusts solidly, and you can feel a little bit of retention when you're adjusting it, and it has which direction means what on this. Okay, but it was pretty easy to sight in. That's my experience with it anyway. It comes with this Allen key piece here. This is for adjusting windage and elevation. And this is the red dot sight here. Very familiar. Okay, this is actually the black cover on the top, which covers it and protects it. It's on there pretty tight, but you can sort of just take it off like that. Now it comes with that this cover because, as you can see, there are no buttons and no not many adjustment pieces, and there's no on button. Okay, it's literally on as soon as it sees light. Now there is a light sensor here. There's a light sensor here, and that's what picks up the light. If there's a bright light, an intense light, say sunlight on here, then the red dot sight will be the red dot will be very bright. Or if it's very dim and very dark, it will go to a very low setting. On the lowest setting, this red dot sight is actually night vision safe. And on the brightest setting, it can be seen in bright daylight, which I have tried, and I do believe it is quite good. Yes, that's how they market it. They say on their website, on the Shield mini sight, they say it is visible in bright daylight, and that is true. I've tried it myself. Okay, right. I'll go with some of the particulars of this red dot sight. It's available in 1, 4, and 8 MOA dots, minute of angle dots. So that's basically the size of the dot, you could say. This one here is an 8 MOA dot. It's also available with a 65 MOA aiming ring, which has a 1 MOA dot in the center. Okay, I've not actually looked at that, not even seen pictures of it, but I know it's available. But I opted for the, because of the close ranges that I'm going to be using this for on a pistol, on a AIRSOFT pistol, I chose the 8 MOA dot for the easy target acquisition. Okay, right, so this sight is marketed as Parallax free. I'm going to be doing a Parallax test for you. In fact, I'll do that now. Okay, I'm now going to do a parallax test of the red dot sight. I'm going to be using Sally the duck, or chicken, or whatever it is she is, as the target, and I've aligned up the red dot almost bang center with her. Right, as you can see, it's just resting on her belly there. We'll see if there's any parallax. I'll just move the sight, well, I'll move my the angle of view to the left slightly and to the right. And as you can see, the red dot does creep slightly depending on which angle you're looking at. Now the red dot sight is actually marketed as a parallax free sight. Some certain red dot sights are marketed as parallax free after a certain distance, normally 50 yards and above or 100 yards and above, but this is marketed as parallax free, but there is just a little bit of parallax. I'll show you again, just to the left, and the red dot creeps slightly to the right there. Okay, but the that is negligible. It is doesn't make too much of a difference. I mean, not unless you're engaging at these distances. The target there, Sally, is set up at 16 feet. She is, and that's about the distance I'm going to be using this red dot sight for, 16 to 30 feet. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference, as in you're not going to be, I'm not going to be precision shooting. I mean, there will be slight variations in, you know, where I aim and where the BB will be going, or whatever platform I decide to mount this on. So there is a little bit of parallax, but in my opinion, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Okay. Okay, so that was the parallax test that you just saw, hopefully. I'll talk about the battery life now. The battery life of this this sight, obviously, it's very hard to control since it's there's no buttons and no settings. You cannot turn it off and leave it at that. But the battery life is quoted as 4 years if it's in dark storage. So if you put this on after every use and then put it away, it's probably going to last about 4 years. If you just use it every now and again. For average use, I'm not sure what they mean by average use. Probably I don't know, a couple of times a week maybe, or 2 or 3 times a week. Then this should last 2 to 3 years. The battery. It uses one CR2032 battery, as you can see there. Just mounts in the bottom there, and then you kind of screw it onto whichever type of mounting device you have. Now, it doesn't come with any mounting devices. All it comes with is 2 screws, which screw into the top there, and that mounts into the bottom of the set piece, whichever mounting device you're using. I personally have purchased an A-Depot mounting device, which mounts without drilling any holes onto the Tokyo Marui high cappers. I'm going to be mounting this on a high capper, just like that. Okay, so it just basically goes in the top there. 2 screws, those 2 screws that came with it go into the top, and it just mounts in like that. Okay, so that's what, one of the things I'm going to be doing to mine. Okay, I'll go with some of the pros of this red dot sight. So far I can notice that it is very light. They say it's measured in at 14 grams, which is incredibly light. I'm guessing that's not including the battery. It's probably going to be about close to, I don't know, I don't even want to guess, probably about 20 grams with the battery. The biggest difference between this and some of the other red dot sights that are on the market is there is no reflective coating. There's a reflective coating, but it's not coloured. If you know what I mean. Some of the red dot sights on the market are orange, red, maybe green, and some of them even change colour at different angles. The Shield website actually quotes that as you know, pretty high high signature it gives it. Obviously, if you're trying to hide and there's a little bit of sunlight, you could probably it would be easier to see a bright red, bright orange reflective piece as opposed to this, which is just a little bit reflective, but it's see-through, so it's just going to be the color of the background, which is a good thing. Now the optic, the actual lens here, is not glass. I know that many of the very popular red dot sights, especially the very expensive ones, use very, very clear and very expensive glass. This one is actually a form of plastic. Now they choose plastic because it has a stronger impact resistance, I believe it is. So as opposed to shattering like glass could, this actually can maybe flex a little bit and take a bit more of the impact. That's one of the good points. One of the bad points is I'm guessing plastic is slightly less scratch resistant to glass. That's just a guess. So if there was sand blowing around, you may want to be look out for that. But one of the I guess Shield has address that by saying on the website, you know, if you use extreme scrutiny, I believe is the words they use, to look at the clarity of the plastic lens, you may be able to see some you know, impurifications, but under normal shooting use that will not be visible because you don't focus on the lens, you actually focus on your target, and the red dot is just your target you know, finder, or you basically won't be focusing on the red dot or the lens. You'll just be focusing on the target. Okay, so that's a good point there. They actually say the plastic lens is 10 times stronger than glass. Okay, not sure in what they mean. I'm guessing they mean impact and flexibility. But you know, I'm obviously not going to test that, so I'm just going to tell you what I've been told and what I have read. There's no parallax, as I've said. There's a little bit of parallax, as I have found out. Now, the auto light adjust. Okay, first, before I purchased this this red dot sight, when I was reading, it said you know, it had no switches. It was just an auto light thing. That bugged me a little bit, because I know that everyone's eyes are different. And some people prefer their red dots setting on crazy high so that you can see them in super bright lights. If someone strobes at you, you can still see the red dot. Some people, like me, like their red dots really, really dim. I actually enjoy having mine on the dimmest setting. I don't know why, it's just one of the things I prefer. Does it help me? Probably doesn't help me very much, but that's just one of my personal preferences. But there are, you know, two different guys for different optics, so this is non-adjustable, so what you get is what you get. But I am very happy with the you know, the brightness of the red dot. It's not intrusive to my eyes, it's bright enough, but it's not too bright. And it's not dull at all. It does the job at the correct setting, okay? So that's one of the good things about this this optic. The price, it's going to depend on where you buy it from. Whether you buy it brand new, second hand, or what brand it was marketed under. You know, there's so many different brands of the same thing, but it's literally the same thing. Also, before I move on, one thing about the lens, since it is plastic, you're probably going to want to stay away from chemicals. Any cleaning agents or anything like that, you're going to want to be very, very careful on what you put on it and how you wipe the actual thing as well. Whatever you do, don't use anything like, I don't know, a kitchen towel or a toilet roll or anything like that. Anything that can hold impurities, you're going to want to be careful of, okay? So protect the sight. It's very robust. I mean, the housing, they say, is a glass-filled polymer. I think it was glass-filled plastic. I'm not too sure why that would be. I don't work in any of the industries of materials, so I have no idea why that is. Maybe it's stronger than just plastic, or maybe it's I don't know, lighter. I have no idea. But that's one of the things they did. The external material, or the housing, is a glass-filled plastic. Okay, right. Okay, I'll now show you the adjustments, or how you adjust this for windage and elevation. There is a screw on the side and there is a screw in the top there. You use the Allen key, which inserts here, and you either twist this clockwise or anti-clockwise. Now, it's pretty sensitive. What I've noticed while I was looking at the red dot and adjusting it, it is pretty sensitive to adjustment. There are no clicks, but the adjustment screws are pretty tight and offer a good resistance, so that you actually know, okay, I'm making adjustments now. Okay, so and the mini dial shows you what kind of distance and what increments you're actually doing, whether it's for windage or elevation. Okay, now okay, I'm gonna tell you, I think the sight was marketed as the red dot unit, so the little light emitting diode there, the LED, is coated or sealed, and it should be waterproof, but the sight itself is not waterproof, and I'm going to tell you why that is. That's because there is actually no backing or no bottom plate that is O-ring or rubber sealed or anything like that. Okay, so you're probably not going to want to use this in the rain, and you're probably not going to want to go diving with it, because obviously that will destroy it. And the contacts, I'm told the contacts it uses for the battery are gold, so they have gold terminal contacts, but the battery is obviously the weak point. It's not going to take any salt water, and it's probably not going to like any form of rain or moisture on it either. So at first I was going to deem this as a very good AIRSOFT or IPSC sight and range toy, but then I read that this sight is actually in use today by different military groups and law enforcement departments. Okay, so that's a good thing, I guess. You know, at least someone out there with the budget that controls what equipment our forces use are using these units, which means they must have passed certain tests. I mean, they're not just going to go, let's have a look at what red dot sights are on the market. This one's pretty cheap, let's get that one. They obviously did some tests, put some thought into it, and chose this one for some reason. So I'm pretty happy about that. The only thing that bugs me a little bit is that there is obviously no on-off switch, and you can't really remove the battery. If you are, if you're thinking, I'm going to put this away now, I'm going to take the battery out for safe storage, you can't really do that because you have to take it off the mounting plate, which obviously changes the zero, and the point of impact will be different. You're going to have to re-zero your platform when you put it back on. So always use the cover. Okay, always use the cover. But I'm that paranoid type that always thinks, oh, what if there's some light getting into the cabinet, or what if it's not completely securely on? There'll be a little bit of light going through that'll turn on and then waste the battery, and next time I get it out to play with, it's gonna be diminished. The battery's gonna be dead. I'm kind of paranoid in that way, so a switch would have been preferable for me, but obviously, switches and terminals are failure points. The less of that there is, then the harder and wearing and more robust this is going to be, so that's a trade-off. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with this. I guess if you were to buy this, keep some spare batteries. Again, they are CR2032s. Available almost anywhere, and you can keep a load of them in stock. They're lithium, so they should last in storage for a very, very long time. Okay, I think that about wraps it up. Let me just check. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to give my final thoughts of this red dot sight right now. At first, I was going to buy a red dot sight, the AIRSOFT version, so it's just the cheap China replicas I was looking at, and I've had a couple before, and some of them, one of them didn't hold zero, and the other one had a very, very curved glass piece which kept falling out. When it would turn on and you could see, I would see if there's any parallax. Now, there was no parallax in the certain China brand Doctor sights or red dot sights or RMRs that I was using, but the problem I did find was the lens was very uneven. It was kind of curved at the edges, at the top, and when I was testing for parallax, I didn't actually see any parallax. The only thing I did see was the red dot would, as I moved my head around and my eye around, I could see the red dot jump like this. It would go from moving up at this speed and suddenly just appear there because of the curvature of the actual lens. At least that's my theory of it. And obviously that's going to be terrible, because if your head's in a different position, you'll actually be aiming here, but your red dot's going to be up there, so you'd kind of have to aim and hold your head in the hold your aiming eye in the center, so where the red dot is there, and make sure the red dot's in the correct place before you actually take the shot. Now that kind of defeats the purpose of a small red dot, where the purpose of it would be to have fast target acquisition and be slightly easier to aim and more accurate than iron sights, front and rear iron sights. So if I was to buy the China brand, the only reason I would have it was for the looks. It would be added weight and it would be good looks, but it would actually be inaccurate and have a high failure rate. So I was looking for the a good red dot sight that I could maybe rely on, and I came across brands that were just hundreds and hundreds of dollars, US dollars, and I thought, that's a bit overkill for what I need it for. But then I came across the Shield mini sight, Firepoint, Tasco Optima, Trijicon Red Dot, or Jpoint, or whatever you want to call it. And I was very impressed by the specs. So I thought, I'm going to splash out a little bit, give it a go, and see what I feel. And I'm very happy that I did. Now, do you need a red dot sight like this? Not really. You could go with the China brand and be pretty happy with it. I'm just in one of those situations where I think, I want to spoil myself. I want to spend a little bit of money and get an optic that was designed for a real steel firearm, as opposed to a real steel firearm lookalike that kind of does its job but not quite. I thought I'm gonna go for this, and I'm very happy that I did. Those of you who are actually shooters, non-airsoft players, range guys, welcome to the channel. And this is a red dot sight that I highly recommend. The reason it has been rebranded so much is because, you know, it is affordable and it does its job. It's very, very good at doing its job. It's accurate, clarity, you know, used by law enforcement, you know, military groups, as I've said. Auto light adjusting, so there's nothing for you to fiddle around with. You just take off the cover and go. That's one of the, you know, it doesn't get any faster than that. There's nothing to fiddle around with. So for you guys, I really highly recommend this this optic. You know, give it a go. There have been reports online that I've been reading on certain forums that people are saying the range of adjustment is not enough. You know, it doesn't adjust enough, and you have to I don't know, hold over or hold under or whatever. But I found for my purpose, which is just, I don't know, airsoft high cappers and playing around at short distances, it is fine. Okay, but those of you who own real steel firearms and are thinking about plunking down the couple of $100 to try one of these out, my suggestion would be to I highly recommend you try before you buy, if the shop allows you to do that, or if you're buying secondhand. See if the guy will let you check it out at the range, or just test it out somewhere before you can you actually part with your money. Okay, just in case there are certain adjustments that you need that it isn't present on this. For me, it is great, but for you guys, I would try before you buy. Airsoft guys, if you have the money and are thinking of a red dot that is reliable and robust and is a lot more solidly built than a China replica, this is definitely the one to check out. You know, I highly recommend it. Okay, this video is a little bit long, sorry about that, but it's you know, there's a lot to talk about. Very excited about this site. You know, thank you very much for checking out this video, and I will see you later.